to have this wonderful association. And I saw last time also, I think some people joined. So that was really great to see. So we are discussing from Bhagavad Gita. And this presentation is dedicated to His Divine Grace, Iti Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Today we'll be discussing mainly from the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And many times people say that Bhagavad Gita is not very easy to understand. I met so many people. Last time also I met one person who was telling, it's very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita. But actually it is not. When we take shelter or when we read the purports of Srila Prabhupada, obviously by reading the translation, we may or may not understand Sanskrit shlokas, and then just reading the translation of the Sanskrit. We may not understand what this shloka is actually talking about. What is the actual meaning of the shloka? But when we read the purports given by Srila Prabhupada, the explanations given by Srila Prabhupada, it becomes so easy. And Srila Prabhupada has written those purports in such a way that it actually becomes easy, you know, for the beings of the Kali Yuga. He has written those shlokas, so that everybody and anybody and everybody can understand the Bhagavad Gita very easily. So that's the glory of Srila Prabhupada. And that's why today's topic is unveiling the mask. And unveiling the mask becomes easy when we read Srila Prabhupada's purports. So let's be grateful to Srila Prabhupada and let's start with today's topic. So now you might be thinking, what is this unveiling the mask? Which mask are we talking about? And how are we going to unveil? So let's see. Very, very amazing topic actually. Many people shared their feedback that this topic changed my life. Very eye-opening session actually, even for me, for everybody. So let's start with some questions which every one of us must be having. Very practical questions. So the first question, why behavior and mood of people suddenly change? How many of you have experienced this? That suddenly this person changed. The mood was something else, and after 5 minutes, it's some other mood. The behavior completely changed. How come a good person turn bad suddenly, and vice versa? A bad person sometimes becomes good. Very surprising. Sometimes a close friend becomes an enemy. Hmm? Worst enemy. You would not have expected at all. It happens many times. How come? Why? Why are these things happening? Okay, these things are about the other people. Okay, but what about myself? Again, so the questions continue. That sometimes I have good mood, sometimes I have bad mood. The mood changes for me also. Let's think about our own selves. Okay, think about others, that's okay. But what about myself? For if you think about ourselves, for us also, we can observe that the mood changes many times. Sometimes I may feeling very good, and then some other part of the day, or maybe after some time, I may not be feeling good. My mood may change. The productivity sometimes is very very high at some time. It suddenly next day, today I was able to do a particular task, let's say in my office, very very effectively. Same task I continue to do. The next day, I'm wondering why today I'm not able to get any idea, right? The same piece of code, the same piece of design, not able to get any idea. So low productivity, why it happens suddenly? Even if the sleep is proper. I'm talking about everything is good, your health is good, your sleep is proper, everything is proper, and still the productivity goes low, or sometimes high, sometimes low. Why? When other things are proper, right? Sometimes we feel so much enthusiastic, sometimes lazy lethargy, कुछ करने का मन नहीं है. Sometimes we feel so much enthusiastic. Why sudden changes? Why these oscillations keep on happening? So we'll be discussing on all these things. And sometimes we may see that we are the same person with the same expertise also. We have acquired same expertise over a period of time, but with same qualification, same status, everything remains same. But suddenly, I may do wonders sometimes, but I may be utter failure at the other times. Why these things happen? So this will be the primary topic of discussion for today, right? We'll be seeing, you know, why it happens to others and why it happens to me also. Hmm. So the question comes after going through all these questions. One very important question emerges out of these observations or these questions. Who is controlling me? Surely this question will come. Something is there who is actually controlling me. Then who is controlling me? I'm not completely independent. If I'm completely independent, I should be able to maintain my mood throughout my life as I want. I should be able to maintain my enthusiasm throughout my life as I want. Right? That should happen. But it's not happening. So something is there, some entity is there who is controlling me. Who is that? So that question comes. And then the Bhagavad Gita gives the answers. It unveils the mask. Right? So here is the answer. So let's chant this shloka. It's from the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Obviously, primary topic of discussion will be 14th chapter, but we'll be seeing some other shlokas from other parts of Bhagavad Gita. So 18.14, let's chant. Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha prithak vidham vividhas cha prithak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. Panchamam. No, I'm saying. So Panchamam means five. Five, right? What are the five entities or five things which this shloka is talking about? So this shloka is talking about the five factors of action. You see in the translation? Five factors of action. Hmm. What are whenever we do some activity, some action, these five factors are involved in that activity. What are those? First, adhishthanam. What is adhishthanam? The place of action. Actually, the place of action here means the body. If the body is not there, how can we perform activity, right? So the place of action is body. Through the body only the activity will be performed. So adhishthanam, the body, in simple words. Then the second factor is karta. The actual karta is the soul. If there is no soul in the body, body is useless. Body is a dead matter. But if soul is there in the body, then only some activity will be happening through the body. Soul will be desiring and then the activity will be happening. The body will be involved in that activity. So performer or the soul, karta. Then third factor is you can note it down. I recommend, I messaged also on the group that it will be so nice if we note it down. It's at least some notes we make so that we can go through those notes. We do that actually when we attend any class in any temple. So we make so many notes actually. And on one note we can make the notes or sticky notes, wherever you feel comfortable. I recommend don't open WhatsApp. Otherwise, instead of making notes, we'll be uh, going in a different direction. Third factor is karanam cha prithak vidham. Karanam cha prithak vidham. So that is senses of the body, various senses in our existence. So there are various kinds of senses like working senses, right? The hands, legs, ears, eyes. Sorry, these are knowledge acquiring senses, ears, eyes. But working senses are hands, legs, then genitals and all. So we have various kinds of senses. And by the way, for your information, senses are actually subtle, which I came to know in my Bhakti Vaibhav course. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam thoroughly. And there we came to know that the senses are actually subtle, sukshma. You see the eyes, right? You say, oh, this is one of my sense, eye. But actually, these white colored organ which you are able to see now, this is not actual sense. The senses are subtle. The eyes are actually subtle, which are seeing. But this organ, this eye, the physical organ, is just an instrument. It's just a medium to see, right? Sometimes you may have seen, right? The eyes may be transplanted, eyes may be replaced. What happened to those eyes? Does it mean that I have lost my seeing power? No, sight is still there, but some problem was there in the eye, so the organ was replaced. So the actual sight or the sense is subtle, but these are just instruments, physical instruments. It's a very very eye-opening thing when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we go more and more deep, many many things unfold from the scriptures. It's so interesting. Fourth factor in the action is endeavor. If you don't put endeavor, nothing is going to happen. The activity will not happen only. So endeavor, active endeavor. And the fifth, very, very important factor is, which many people miss. They say that I put all my endeavor throughout my, 5 years I have prepared for IAS, but still the result didn't come. Why? Because super soul, the fifth factor, was missing. Missing means you didn't know about it. So the fifth factor is super soul, and that is daivam. You see, the daivam is the last, second line, the last aspect, last phrase, daivam. So these are the five factors. So super soul is nothing but the Lord. Super soul is sitting, the Lord is sitting within the heart as super soul with each and every living entity. And he knows. He knows. So we'll see a flowchart actually. We'll summarize this in the form of a flowchart to understand better. So we can broadly categorize these five factors in terms of three factors broadly. First is, I'm talking about three factors, the broad classification. First is soul, second is prakriti, the material nature, and third is super soul. So soul and super soul are already covered here, right? The performer, that is soul, and super soul is the super soul. But what about prakriti? The body and the senses, endeavor, everything will be coming under prakriti. Okay, so these are the three factors, or in broadly. So I have a flow chart with me. Okay, I revealed. Okay, let me reveal everything. Yeah, so there's a flow chart. Maybe you can remember this flow chart. It's a very nice thing. Pictures are very important to understand, pictorial representation. So it's very nice. It all starts with the soul, myself, the soul. What the soul does? The soul desires. I desire to eat something. I desire to purchase a car. Some desire will be there inside my heart. So then it starts with desire. Now, that desire, who observes? Super soul. Paramatma. You see, the arrow goes to Paramatma. When there is a desire, Paramatma, the super soul, will observe that desire. And it will analyze. He will analyze. Super soul will analyze that. Does this soul has enough karma credits? Let's say I want to do a particular activity, I have a desire, but I don't have enough karma credits, so it will not be sanctioned. But if I have enough karma credits, can be pap or punya. Hmm? So depending on that, do I have sufficient karma reactions or credits, papa or punya, depending on my desire, to fulfill that desire or not? So based on that, if I have the enough credits, Paramatma will sanction. Otherwise, he will not sanction. Hmm? So then if Paramatma sanctions, then what is the role of the Prakriti, the material nature? The Prakriti will execute that desire, execute that sanctioning of the Lord, of Paramatma. So that's how the whole cycle, the whole flow is. We desire, Paramatma sanctions based on our karma credits. Are you able to understand or not? Right? And the Prakriti executes. Prakriti just executes. So it all starts with desire. And we only have desire in our hands. Prakriti will make sure that how it will execute, how she will execute. And we'll see how the Prakriti executes the desires. So we will see here. And one more thing before going to the next topic. So we can analyze this more. What about the new karma or new papa and punya? Okay, I have some previous papa and punya in my account. Based on that, Paramatma will see, okay, this person has a desire. So okay, he has enough karma, enough punya to fulfill that desire. Okay, let me sanction. And if it is not there, then he will not sanction. That is based on previous papa and punya, the account which I already have. What about the new papa and punya? How it will get generated? Or when the prakriti will execute the desire. Let's say it gets sanctioned, the based on the previous one, and now the prakriti is executing it, and the soul is involved in that execution. Then he creates new papa and punya, you know, and that gets credited to his account, and that will be used for the future sanctioning of the Lord. You understand now? Another question is, does Paramatma wants to sanction every desire which we have? Yes or no? No. Why? Because Paramatma is just like father. You know. Sometimes the child may be so adamant that I want this chocolate, you know, and then father may say, your teeth are already spoiled. If you eat more, it will surely go away, and then nothing will be remaining. So don't take these chocolates. You know. But the son is so much adamant that no, father, I want those chocolates. I want those chocolates. Then the father, what will father do? Will he give or not? Huh? He will not give. Are you sure? He will give or not? If let's say I'm so adamant, don't know I want the chocolates at all, at any cost, and then I'll not go back to home if you don't give me. If he's so adamant, then what will happen? Will the father give or not? Father will put some condition, but he'll give, right? Finally, he will give. He will give maybe less, but he will give. That's the condition of Paramatma. You know, so Paramatma doesn't want to sanction all the desires because so many nasty desires we have to enjoy this world, lord it over the nature, right? To become the masters in this world. We have so many nasty desires also. But Paramatma doesn't want to sanction all the desires. But because when he sees that, oh, this soul is so adamant, so with the stone in the heart, patthar dil ke saath, with so much of burden, Paramatma sanctions. He has to sanction. What to do? He loves us. You know, because the father loves the son, so he sanctions. You know. But he puts a condition that you have to suffer. Huh? Now, how to identify that Paramatma gives us the indication that man, you have to suffer. How to identify that? Let's say when we do some activity which is not supposed to be done. So how do you know that? Oh, this is bad. This is not supposed to be done. How do you get to know? Internally, huh? Maybe after doing, what will happen? Guilt will come. So that is the guilt is actually coming from Paramatma. We need to understand that. So Paramatma is giving us the guilt. So the sign of that warning from the Paramatma is guilt. Whenever we get guilt, it means that Paramatma is giving us that particular warning or sign that don't do this again. Hmm. This is not supposed to be done. Please don't do that. So Paramatma sanctions the desires, but when we do that activity, we get guilt also. So that's how Paramatma gives us a warning also, or the warning that this is not supposed to be done. What to do? I love you, so I have sanctioned it. Right. So this is how the whole cycle works. Have you understood it? Any question? Maybe you hold on your questions. We'll take at the last. Now, how the material nature, the Prakriti executes this whole desire which the jiva has, the soul has, will understand that. It is based on the three modes of material nature. The Prakriti acts through three modes. Hmm? The Prakriti has three modes through which she works. What are those three modes? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. How many of you have heard about Sattva Gun, Rajogun, Tamogun, right? So this is what it is: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So let's talk about goodness. One by one, we'll talk in detail from the Bhagavad Gita. So we'll take 18th chapter, verse number 26. Let's recite the shloka. Mukta sango naham vadi धृत्य उत्साह समन्वितः सिद्ध्य असिद्ध्योर्निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते. Very clear, Krishna is telling in the Bhagavad Gita about the symptom of a person in mode of goodness. Now, I want you to be attentive in this case, in this discussion, and I want you to analyze yourself. Don't analyze your friends. Don't analyze your relatives. Don't analyze your boss. Analyze yourself. And at the end of this discussion, I will ask you, which mode are you in? Okay. So let's try to analyze. So, what are the symptoms of a person in mode of goodness? So, Krishna is telling very clearly, without false ego. That person will be without false ego. You know, when a person has false ego, what is the symptom? He thinks that I am the doer. I am the doer. Karta aham iti manyate. Whatever activity is performed, I am the doer. It's only because of me, no one else, nothing else. He'll not be able to understand that there's so many factors beyond my, we saw, right, 5 factors of action. He'll not be able to identify that. He'll be completely in his own world. So so this person who is in mode of goodness will be without false ego. This time when I went to a trip actually before coming here, today. I returned on 6th of November. So for almost 1 week I went to ISKCON Mayapur actually. And then there we had a nice trip. We went to so many places related to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then ISKCON Mayapur. And we had a nice association with so many great souls, sannyasis, so many senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, so many senior devotees, other senior devotees also. And I was seeing actually that whoever is advanced in devotional service, advanced in Krishna consciousness, they are so humble, very, very humble, very, very humble they are. I was I used to listen to so many kirtans, and I love kirtans. So there are some singers which are fixed actually in my playlist that I will hear from these singers, devotees. I got to meet those devotees this time. I got to face see those devotees. I was very, very happy to see. But one thing I observed in them, that they are so famous, everybody's listening to their kirtans, worldwide they are famous and all those things. They're so humble, very, very humble. My heart got touched because of that. They don't have any false ego at all. They were very, very humble. I'll not take the name, but when I am getting those pictures of those devotees in my mind, they were so humble. My heart was completely melted by seeing those devotees. It actually inspired me a lot. That whenever we grow in devotional service, this is a test. Whether my false ego is increasing day by day, my ego is increasing day by day, or I'm becoming more and more humble and humble and humble day by day. That's a test. Whether I'm uplifting, getting uplifted in my consciousness, or I'm degrading in my consciousness. So that's a test. And a person obviously who rises in mode of goodness, we're talking about mode of goodness here. So he will be without false ego. He'll be very humble. And then he'll be with great determination. Whatever he thinks or decides, he will be able to continue to perform that. He'll be determined in his actions. By the way, determination is also in 3 modes: determination in mode of goodness, determination in mode of passion, and in ignorance. The determination in mode of goodness will sustain for long, throughout the life also. If he decides something, the person in mode of goodness, he will be able to continue throughout the life. But the symptom of a person in mode of goodness who is taking some determination, he will dwindle after some time. ऐसे जाएगा उसका curve, and then it will go down, and then खत्म हो जाएगा उसके बाद, zero. It will become zero after some time. It will be very temporary. So that is mode of passion. And determination in mode of ignorance is very, very rare, by the way. First of all, होगा ही नहीं determination. अगर होगा भी तो it will be very, 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 very feeble, very feeble. मतलब अभी determination, अभी कोई decision लिया, 1 घंटे बाद टूट गया. He'll not be able to perform. So that's how it is. So A person who is in mode of goodness, his determination will sustain for long, and he'll maintain his enthusiasm. ऐसा नहीं कि आज he is very very happy, he's very very enthusiastic. The other day he's depressed. No, that's actually a symptom of mode of passion. Mode of passion person will be like a pendulum. He'll be going like this on other extreme, on one extreme, and then on the next day on the other extreme. But a person in mode of goodness will be equipoised. He'll be able to maintain his enthusiasm throughout for a very very long duration of time at least. Every day he will be equipoised. Every moment he'll be equipoised. Whether this the same point, without wavering in success or failure. If success comes or if failure comes, he will be equipoised. He'll be stable, right? As I mentioned. So that's a symptom of mode of goodness person. Now we may analyze ourselves where we are. Then uh, we'll also discuss about what will be the happiness of a person in mode of goodness in all the three modes. So let's chant the shloka. Yattad agre visham iva pariname mritopanam. Sorry, mritopamam. Tat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. Right? Slogan of these people, sorry, this is mode of goodness. We'll come to passion. So, what is the happiness in mode of goodness? What is the nature of happiness in mode of goodness? First, we discuss about symptoms. Symptoms of a person in mode of goodness. But what about the happiness in mode of goodness? So, Krishna is talking about that. So, the happiness in mode of goodness will be like poison in the beginning. When a person is performing some activity, he may feel it like a poison. But at the end, it will be nectar. Some examples. Gym. How many of you have the experience of gym? Many people, right? Here only gym is. So I have seen in my personal life also. I'm talking about myself also. So I was always a beginner in gym. I never crossed the beginner stage because whenever I used to start, after some days I used to leave. So what happens is when New Year comes, there are so many resolves people take, right? This year I'll take care of my health and I'll start going gym. And then they join a particular gym, they pay fees also, full fees. And then they start going with full enthusiasm. And then what happens? After some days, अभी थोड़ा बहुत cramps पड़ गए हैं, आज miss कर लेता हूँ बस. Only today I will miss. Then when the cramps are gone, then I will go the next day. But suddenly it happens that this tendency becomes more and more. It increases, and then after some time we leave actually, right? So this is what happens. So but actually a person who is able to continue, it will be a nectar for him. I know one person, one of my seniors. He was going to gym. He was my wall mate, and I had a very good relations with him. I was seeing 4 years of BTech, from the first year till the final year. He continued his gymming. Continued. I don't know how. He was always, going to gym every single day with full enthusiasm. I don't know how. So, and he was relishing it. He was relishing it. Why? Because it became nectar for him at the end. Because he started seeing results, and then it became nectar for him at the end. But in the starting, when we start doing the gym, it will be so many things, so many cramps, and we need to wake up early in the morning. Nowadays, people go in the evening. That's another thing. But if you go in the morning, that's even better, right? So starts cramps will come and we have to wake up early in the morning. If you go for jogging, let's say in the morning, so we have to wake up early, right? So it'll be like a poison in the beginning, but it'll become nectar in the end. That's like the experience of mode of goodness. Hmm? So if a person continues and continues and continues, it'll become nectar at the end. So that's the experience, or that's the happiness in the mode of goodness. Poison in the starting and nectar at the end. Some people start coming to festival of enlightenment, right? In the starting, it may be like कब खत्म करेगा यार, बहुत बोलता है बहुत बोलता है, इसको बाहर मिलने दो, पीटूंगा मैं इसको पक्का, बहुत बोलता है. एंड मेनी पीपल एक्चुअली स्टॉप कमिंग आल्सो, यू नो. So, and we see so many, very less people are coming actually. So, but we started with so many registrations in Janmashtami, even in PGs, and then out of that, I think 60, 70, 70 people came. 73, if I'm not wrong. 73 to 75 people came in the starting. Then it got reduced, and now 35 to 40 people are coming, and people are at home now, so it will increase. So this is the basically we can see actually this, that how the strength also keeps on decreasing, because people may feel that, oh, it may feel like poison at the beginning, that I have to sacrifice so many things outside, and this person wastes my time, by speaking so long for so long. But but a person who is in mode of goodness, you all are in mode of goodness, that's why you're able to continue. Actually, for continuing we need mode of goodness, otherwise we cannot continue any activity. Some portion of mode of goodness is needed. So because you are in mode of goodness, you're able to continue, right? So that's why. So let's talk about mode of passion. This is the next, I think, previous shloka, next shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Let's recite. Ragi karma phala prepsur lubdho himsatmako shuchihi harsha shokanvita karta rajasah prakritirtitah. What are the symptoms of a person in, so we'll talk about symptoms and then the happiness in mode of passion, ignorance, both. Like we are talking about symptoms and happiness in all the three modes. So this passion. What are symptoms of a person in mode of passion? That person is attached to what? Attached to the work which he is doing, and also the results of the work which he is performing. Both he is attached to. If we say that leave this work, he'll not be able to do that. If we say leave the results of the work, he'll not be able to. He'll shake. If we say that give 100% of your salary to ISKCON, do it for the pleasure of the Lord. Give it for the building of a new temple. Do it for Annadan Seva. So many people will be held. They will get prasadam, right? People will shake. They will shake. Literally, to give 10% of salary also people shake. Forget about 50% or 100%. Obviously, it's not expected. We need to, live our own life also. So it's very difficult actually. People are too much attached to the fruits of the work which they perform. Too much attached. And that's why they are like pendulums. When the result comes, they are so happy. And when the result doesn't come, they become so morose to the, they go to the degree of depression. That's why a person in mode of goodness will not never go to depression, because he'll be equipoised. We saw, right? Even in failure or success, he'll be equipoised, he'll be stable. But a person in mode of passion, oh no, he cannot be equipoised. He will be like a pendulum in the joy and sorrow, and joy and sorrow. He'll be like a pendulum. So we can easily figure out actually, if a person becomes too much joyful when the success comes, and he goes to depression when the failure comes, he's in mode of passion. So that's a symptom. And then another very important symptom is he's greedy. Whenever greed comes, oh, that's a symptom of mode of passion. I see many people in our office also. They're not satisfied with whatever hikes they get. Whatever hikes they may get after switching the company also. Companies also, so many switchings are done. I met one person, he told me, I worked for 15 companies in 4 years. 15 companies. He was from, he's working in US. So he was telling that people change within 3 months outside actually. At least in India, people don't do that actually frequently. No? Okay, once in a while it may happen, 3-4 months. But he was telling actually that it's so dynamic there actually, the corporate culture, so dynamic. that people change the jobs in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and that he has worked for, I think, 4 to 5 years he has worked till now. 15 companies he has changed, and he was listing the companies also. Very, very inconceivable actually to me. He was telling me 2 months I have changed, 3 months I have changed this company. It was very, very surprising for me, you know. So why are we doing that? You know, to get more salary, more hikes, because the greed doesn't get fulfilled. The greed doesn't get satisfied at all. It's like putting ghee more and more in in the fire. Fire will just increase and increase. Fire will not settle down. So this is very important to understand. This is a symptom of mode of passion, by the way. A person in mode of goodness will not show the symptom of greed. He'll be satisfied first of all. I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, first canto, 19th chapter, the last chapter of first canto. Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that one who practices devotional service, who becomes a devotee of the Lord, the first symptom of a devotee is he will be satisfied. Whatever the Lord sanctions for me, he will be satisfied. It doesn't mean, now Srila Prabhupada is clarifying also. Now the question may come, oh, does it stop working if he's satisfied? If satisfaction comes, does it stop working? No. He will continue to work, he will continue to do his duty, but he will do the activity as a matter of duty very, very nicely. And naturally, when he does the duty very nicely, the result will come. Hmm? That's the secret of success. You know, if you get attached to the work, it will be very difficult to be successful always. But if we do the activity as a matter of duty, as a sense of duty, without getting attached to the work or without getting attached to the results of the work, actually the result will come. Hmm? So that's the secret of success in any activity. What to do? This is a symptom of mode of passion. And then the other symptom is enviousness. You see, always envious. What is the difference between jealousy and enviousness? What is jealousy and enviousness difference? What is jealousy, by the way, first of all? Let's say a person got 30% hike, let's say 40% hike, and I got 15% hike. Then what kind of thought will come in my mind? Huh? Jealousy, huh? Jealousy means why he has got that. Even I should also get the same hike or even more hike than him. So that's jealousy. What is enviousness then in this case? Enviousness is he has got more hike, I didn't get, even he should also not get. Understood? What is the difference? Very subtle difference. Jealousy means he has got, I should also get. Why only he is getting? I should also get. But enviousness means, okay, he has got, I should also get, but he should not get. That is enviousness. Malab, we will do everything to pull that person down. Right? There will be some activity involved, some contemplation involved, some prayers involved. The next time, don't give him hike, or let the whole money get swayed away in somewhere. You know that those kinds of thought process will be there. Rubbish thought process. That is enviousness. Very, very pathetic. And then impure, the symptom of the mode of, why we're discussing mode of passion, because I don't know, at least I see these qualities in myself, good qualities, divine qualities. Impure means he's externally also impure, no cleanliness, internally also impure, sex desire, always too much engrossed in thinking about women, too much engrossed, always thinking about the opposite gender. Whenever the opposite gender he sees, oh, he's completely, the naturally, like the river Ganga flows towards the ocean, and the consciousness flows towards my sense object. That's how it is. Very, very impure consciousness. So we need to analyze which mode we are in. And then finally we discussed obviously this one, that moved by joy and sorrow. Too much like a pendulum. So this is mode of passion. What is the and obviously one slogan mode of passion person has. The slogan is, whenever he gets some work or activity to perform, he asks this question: what's in it for me? What will I get? what benefit I will get from this activity? What's in it for me? But a mode of goodness person will ask in the same situation. He will ask, okay, how can I do this activity very very nicely? You know, what's in it from me? It's later, but how can I do it very nicely? That's the first question he will ask. So there's a difference in the consciousness of a person in mode of passion and goodness. Then let's discuss about happiness in mode of goodness and passion. So let's chant this shloka. Vishayendriya sam yogat yattad agre mritopanam pariname visham iva tat sukham rajasam spritam. Very simple. Let's compare with the mode of passion, right? What was the nature of happiness in mode of passion? Dash in the beginning and dash in the end. What is the dash? First dash? Poison or nectar in the beginning? Poison. For mode of goodness I'm talking about. And nectar and in the end. He will be able to have experience nectar in the end. But what about mode of passion? It's opposite. Easy to understand. It's opposite. Nectar. It may look like nectar in the beginning, but it becomes a poison at the end. That's the mode of passion. So instant happiness. People are looking for instant happiness these days, right? It becomes a poison. Let me ask you these questions. Give me some examples of some instant happiness which we want. Examples of getting instant happiness, but which becomes really, really pathetic and difficult at the end, difficult to handle and poison at the end. Give me some examples. Alcohol, right? Instant happiness. But at the end becomes really really poisonous. I see people vomiting and then going through a lot of pain, liver failure, very very tough time. Even the next day, today they may be thinking, oh, I'm enjoying, I'm in a different world altogether. I may be I may have risen above all the miseries of the world. I may be free from all the miseries. But the next day they'll be struggling a lot. Pain here, pain there, you know, vomitings. Even in our hostels, my hostel days. Whenever New Year used to come, and there was something called wine storm. Very very unfortunate thing. The final years used to give wine storm to all the hostelers. Government college, so nobody used to see. It was storm of wine. So the one night will be like full night. The seniors will teach the first years also. Come, I'll teach you how to open the bottle, how to make the peg and all those things. It's very, very unfortunate thing actually. And in the morning, after the wines from the next day, there used to be the carpet of vomitings throughout, from the hostel room till the washrooms. Inside the washroom also. It's very, very difficult to even walk. That is, kind of, we want instant happiness, but it becomes poison at the end. Some other example, one or two examples? Huh? Relationships. Co-live, right? Instant happiness I want. Let's shift in co-live. But it becomes really, really poisonous. I've seen. As giving that example, no? That relationships are too feeble these days, too feeble, very, very weak these days. The relationships are. Not relationships actually, they're all nonsense, rubbish. So I was before in the first session only I shared. I was sitting at Chandigarh airport and then I was coming to Bangalore, and one lady was talking. I was waiting for the whole queue to get over, and then I normally get at the last, get inside. So I was waiting, and then she was talking over phone to some boy. He was telling. I figured out that she is not her boyfriend. She was someone else, and she was telling, my boyfriend is not picking my phone. And by the way, it got connected to this session also. She told, I don't know what happened suddenly today. His mood was so bad today. It was unpredictable. पता नहीं क्या हो गया उसको, एकदम गंदे तरीके से बात कर रहा था मुझसे. मेरा मूड खराब कर दिया उसने. My also mood got spoiled because of him today. But when I am talking to you, I'm feeling very nice. It was another boy, who was not in relationship with her. Can you imagine? What is this? The nonsense is going on all over, all around us, and these people call this relationship. This is all nonsense actually. Relationship means service. Service. Where is service attitude these days? Where is service attitude? Nowhere. It's all sense gratification. Co-live means sense gratification. People are shifting to co-live PGs to do sense gratification. I will give you, I will, you can, what to say, enjoy me, I will enjoy you. And that's how we are together. That's the only thought process behind all these nonsense things which are going on. Nothing else, nothing else. Relationship means service attitude. Service should be there. Okay, let's talk about the ignorance. So let's chant the shloka. अयुक्तः प्राकृतः स्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतो लशः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते. What are the symptoms of a person in mode of ignorance? He always acts against the scriptures. He always makes a plan, knowingly, unknowingly also. Okay, this is given as scriptures. Today I will break this. I will break this principle today. Next day I will break this principle. Third day I will break this principle, which is given in the scriptures. He acts against the scriptures, knowingly, unknowingly also. For example, there are four places where the Kali resides. It comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. I was reading. Parikshit Maharaj, right? When he was handed over the kingdom by Yudhishthir Maharaj, that time Kali Yuga was almost started. And then Kali Yuga was not able to find any place in the kingdom of Maharaj Parikshit. And Maharaj Parikshit was the ruler of the whole world. This entire planet Earth. Prithvi. Bharat Varsha. And Kali Yuga was not finding any place throughout the kingdom that where should Kali reside. People were very satisfied in the kingdom. People were very, very happy. There was no misery, nothing. And Kali Yuga was thinking that where will I reside? I also want some space so that I can, spread, and then I also should be there, right? Because it's my time now. It's Kali Yuga. So then he met Maharaj Parikshit. And Maharaj Parikshit actually, instead of killing him, because he knew that Kali Yuga has to come. It's a plan of the Lord. So it's an arrangement of the Lord. So then he told that 4 places you can recite. Those 4 places are first, wherever illicit sex goes on. Wherever illicit sex happens, illicit sex can be anything. It can be masturbation. It can be co-live. I'm talking straightforward. It can be, without marriage, any nonsense relationships, which is not based on any service attitude, not based on scriptures. That is illicit sex. And even within the marriage, if one has extramarital affairs, or that is also illicit sex. So if something is going on in these spheres, then Kali Yuga will reside there. That person is perfectly under the Kali Yuga. If a person is engaged in illicit sex. Second, meat eating. Very, very surprisingly. Wherever slaughtering of the animals goes on, wherever meat eating goes on, there Kali Yuga resides. Third, very, very heartbreaking, but what to do? It's a truth, and we have to speak the truth. Third, meat eating, illicit sex, then gambling. Wherever gambling goes on, casinos and whatever, Wherever gambling goes on, we can have many other examples also. That there also Kali Yuga resides perfectly. A person who is under gambling, who is involved in gambling, perfectly he will be under the grip of Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga will be controlling that person. He's under the influence. And fourth one is illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and huh? Intoxication. Intoxication can be, you know better, right? Any kind of drugs and all, whatever, which so alcohol or any kind of drugs and smoking and whatever. So there also Kali Yuga resides. So if we have to check if we are involved in any kind of activity in this, or we are perfectly under the grip of Kali Yuga, and we have to get out of it. And that also is mentioned that a person who doesn't perform all these four activities, or if he controls his senses, he can also actually become the spiritual master of the whole world. People will surrender unto him. That will happen. He'll become very pure, and he'll be able to touch the lives of the people, touch the hearts of the people. But a person who is involved in these four activities, what he will do? He'll not be able to touch the lives of the people. Forgetting about, first he has to purify his own existence. Then question comes, okay, touching the lives of other peoples, or what to say, helping other peoples. So we have to check where we are, right? Sorry, we we got into this. Actually, working against the injunctions of the scripture. That's how I remembered that. Second is he's too much materialistic in his consciousness. No thought about spirituality. That's why you see many people, actually you will find that in your office also, in your PG also. Some people are saying that you may be inspiring him. Please come to Festival of Enlightenment. It is happening in Panathur. It's happening nearby. You're staying here only. Please come. Please join me. I'm going there. We'll go together. But many people will actually not come, because they are in ignorance. The mode of ignorance has taken over them. So we can easily find out actually that that's ignorance. Cheating propensity, expert in insulting others. That's one of the symptoms of mode of ignorance. One who is lazy, procrastination. कल करेंगे. Their slogan is आज करे सो कल करे सो परसों. अरे भाई इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है, जब जीना है बरसों. We have to live for many years. So many years are remaining. So जब जीना है बरसों, so इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है, करेंगे परसों, right? So this is their slogan. But a person in mode of goodness, he'll be like, no, आज करे सो काल करे सो आज कर, अभी, आज भी नहीं अभी, let me do it now, right now. So this is the slogan of mode of ignorance, procrastinating, and always morose. These people will never be able to experience even material happiness also. Forget about spiritual happiness. What about material happiness? That also they will not be able to understand, experience. That's why in the next sloka it talks about happiness and mode of ignorance. And that is like, instead of going to the sloka, let me summarize. It's poison in the starting also, and poison in the end also. Forget about any kind of happiness. No nectar, only poison. मतलब शुरू में भी ज़्यादा सो लिया तो भी बॉडी में पेन हो गई, वहाँ पे भी पॉइजन है ना. प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट कर दिया तो मैनेजर से गालियाँ पड़ रही हैं तो भी पॉइजन है. He is always experiencing poison. You understand, right, what I said? So always he is in poison. He is not able to experience even material happiness. Health is going down. Mentally he is morose. What kind of happiness he will get? Nothing. So we have to really check which mode we are in. Now let me ask you this question. Which mode you are in? Who are in mode of goodness? Okay, first mode of ignorance. Oh, no one. My God. Acha, two people. Mode of passion? Acha, many hands. Mode of goodness? Oh, great. Some people I am able to see. Good, nice.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Can you be in between two modes?
That's what we are going to discuss now. Actually, we cannot be in any particular mode for all the time. We need to understand that. It's like the color palette. The very basic colors, three basic colors are Primary colors, red, green, and blue. But when we mix those colors, how many combinations are possible? Huh? 16 million. Are you sure? 16 million. Have you counted anytime? Or has anybody counted? Okay, 255. 255 also we have quantified it, right? Or quantized it. But it can be many, 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 many different shades actually. Many, many shades. So it's actually infinite. It's actually okay. 16 million also. Just if you think about 16 million, how many? It's too much, right? It's actually infinite. So similarly, the combination of the three modes. For example, 1%. I'll give you a feel. 1% goodness, 90% passion, 8% ignorance. Now keep on adjusting the three percentages and try to figure out the number of combinations. You know, you understand, right? And in decimal also, the percentage may go on. Infinite number of combinations of these three modes, right? So that's why it's not possible to be in one mode all the time. You have to understand that there will be combination always. And this Bhagavad Gita is saying, I'm not saying, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. So let's chant this shloka. Rajas tamas chabhibhuya satvam bhavati bharata rajah satvam tamaschaiva tamah satvam rajastatha. So Krishna is saying sometimes mode of goodness becomes prominent. What do we mean by becomes prominent? It means mode of passion and ignorance are already there. Goodness is also there, but mode of goodness is a little more higher. But it's a combination. Hmm? And defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata, sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance. And at the other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. Hmm? In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Obviously, one mode will be a little higher than the other modes, but it's always a combination that we need to understand, right? We are a mixture of the three modes. Always, the consciousness will be having mixture of three modes. Now, let me ask you this question based on this analysis, all this analysis that we are under the three modes, and everybody is actually influenced by the three modes. Let me ask you this question: can we say this person is a bad person? Is this a valid question? Or can the answer of this question be yes or no? Yes, he's a bad person. Or no, he's not a bad person. What do you think? No. No means it's not fixed.
Person may be good, but the situation becomes.
This we need to, you were also saying something? Somebody was saying? Right, so you're correct actually. That after analyzing this, we need to understand that a person which we are labeling as a bad person, oh, maybe under the influence of ignorance this time. That's why he may be acting in a bad propensity, right? But he may turn out to be a good person also other time when the mode of goodness arises, or when the mode of goodness becomes prominent. He may act in goodness. He may act, in a good way also. So that's why the Bhagavad Gita changes our perspective. It changes the perspective of our life. It's very practical. That's why when we go through Bhagavad Gita, life becomes so sublime, at least. At least to some degree, the life will become so sublime. We will not put a label on the people that he's a bad person, he's a good person, hard labels. It will not be hard labeling. It'll be like, okay, this person maybe now he's under mode of ignorance. Okay, no problem. Let me talk to him when he comes in mode of goodness. When he comes in mode of goodness, oh, he's talking so nicely. That's how it is. So we can analyze actually like this, our own selves and others also. And our whole perspective may change and will not take anything very, very seriously. Or even if we get affected by something, we can come out of it very, very quickly. So we'll become sublime in our consciousness. When we understand that everybody is under the influence of the three modes, let me talk and let me not take anything or the statements of anybody seriously anytime. Hmm? This we need to understand. Now the question comes, how do we get into these three modes? We talked about the three modes. How do we get into these three modes? We'll quickly go actually, the time is running. पुरुषः प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुङ्क्ते प्रकृतिजान् गुणान् कारणं गुणसङ्गोऽस्य सत् असद् योनिजन्मसु. So we'll quickly see actually the highlight here. What Krishna is saying. What is the answer of this question? How do we get into a particular mode? By association. So important word here is guna sangosya. That by association of a particular mode. A person in a particular mode or a setup in a particular mode. For example, when you come to the temple, naturally there will be mode of pure goodness. We'll be talking about mode of pure goodness, and there will be some set of devotees who will be mode of goodness, right? Or mode of pure goodness also, above mode of goodness as well. There's a mode above three modes also. And as soon as we associate with those devotees, naturally our consciousness also gets uplifted, right? Just by associating or just by taking darshans of those devotees, you know. So that's how it is. When we associate with people in particular modes, we also get infected by that mode. Or there is it's about setup, the environment, and also about association of people also, right? So in whatever way, it can be setup or it can be people, association of people, and association of setup. So that's how we get infected by a particular mode. So we need to choose. Many times we see, how many of you experience this, that whenever you come to the sessions, your consciousness must have been uplifted, might have been uplifted, right? And as soon as you go out, maybe today also, or maybe after the session that same day, Saturday, or maybe Sunday, and as soon as the days keep on passing, Monday, Tuesday, when you start going to office, and let's say you might have learned some shloka from Bhagavad Gita or some point from the session you might have liked, and you will be like, today I will apply this particular point in my life. And then you will be going and sitting on the lunch table, and then in the office, and then the people will be talking about, hey, स्टॉक गिर गया पता है कंपनी का, कितना इन्वेस्ट किया है तूने, हाउ मच यू हैव इन्वेस्टेड, एंड यू विल लाइक, व्हाट इज इट, स्टॉक गिर गया, एंड यू विल बी रिमेंबरिंग, नो 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 नो, I want to apply Bhagavad Gita in my life. Don't get attached to all this. And then you'll be reminding yourself, and then you'll be again coming back to your consciousness. But again, that influence will be so much that somehow at the end of the discussion will be like, कितना हुआ अभी, कितना stock price बताओ मेरे को. And then there is some other stock also which is improving, and then you will also get involved in that discussion, right? How many of you experience this? That basically, as soon as we are into the association of devotees, or we get uplifted. But when we go out of the association and we go out in the materialistic association, and then we get completely influenced by that, right? So we have to choose where we spend more time. And also, association also means, the scriptures define, it means sharing of heart. Many times actually devotees ask this question, that what do you mean by association? Does it mean that I should not interact with my office mates? If they are materialistic in their consciousness, they don't have any thought about spirituality, should I stop associating with my office mates? Should I stop going to office? No. Association means sharing of heart. We can interaction, there is no problem. We can interact, we can have nice time, we can whatever interaction is needed, we can do it. But if we start sharing our heart, then the association starts happening. Then it will impact will come. So we need to see, are we associating or are we just dealing, right? The difference between dealing and associating, you need to understand. It's a very technical thing. We'll understand it slowly, practically. Now, which is a good mode to be in? Mode of goodness. How many say mode of goodness is good? I want to be in mode of goodness. What about others? Some people are confused. Mode of passion? कि थोड़ा पैशन तो चाहिए ना लाइफ में, पैशन नहीं होगा तो फिर कैसे? मोड ऑफ पैशन नोबडी, एंड मोड ऑफ इग्नोरेंस, नींद भी चाहिए ना, वी वांट स्लीप, राइट? वी वांट सम स्लीप एंड सम लेजीनेस आल्सो समटाइम्स, है ना? So no, not no, right? Okay, so mode of goodness, right? Many people are saying, but actually, I'll ask you this question: if let's say three people are there in the jail, first person is in a prison bar, in a bar, sorry, in a prison where the bars are made of gold, actually, and the second person is also in the bar inside the prison in some other room, and the bars are made of silver. And the third person, the three friends, they were together doing some some criminal activity, and they got into prison. The third friend, he found that, oh, other two friends are in the bar, in the prison, in the room which has the bars made of this gold and silver, but for me it's iron. What is this nonsense, right? If we ask these people, actually, which situation is good, whose situation is better, a person in the prison but with gold bars, a person in the prison but with silver bars, a person in the prison but with iron bars, whose situation is better? All three people are in the prison. So if we ask these people, do you want to remain in the prison, in the room which has gold bars? The person will say, no, get me out of this prison. I don't care whether it's gold or silver or iron, doesn't matter. Right? Get me out of, a sane person will be desiring for getting out of the prison. Hmm? So that's how it is. So three people I told you, right? So it's like three modes. So actually, all the three modes condition us. So the next sloka of Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, verse number 9, tells us about this. That actually all the three modes, the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, all the three modes condition us. Right? It's a big shock, right? Even mode of goodness also conditions us. How they condition us? Let's chant this sloka. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. It's sanjayati. Okay. Rajah karmani bharata. ज्ञानम आवृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत. So what Krishna is saying, O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. By the way, happiness is also one of the obstacle in this world. You were thinking happiness is the obstacle. How? How come happiness can be obstacle? Let me tell you how. Let's first complete this shloka. Passion, mode of passion, how it conditions a person? It conditions one to fruitive action. A person becomes completely bound between action and its result. He gets attached to the result. Again, he will do some more activity to get the fruits. Oh, again, he will get attached to the fruits. Oh, again, he will do some activity to, again, he will get attached to the fruit. He will be completely bound in this. The cycle of action and reaction and fruitive action, basically. Mhm. Fruitive action. Bondage. And a person in mode of ignorance, he is completely blinded. मतलब उसको कुछ पता ही नहीं है, मतलब ना ही he doesn't know anything about this world also, and forget about spiritual world, but nothing he knows. His knowledge is completely covered. But now question comes, I know you might be thinking about how happiness, mode of goodness gives a little sense of happiness, how that is a obstacle. Actually, many people we have, we might be meeting actually in our day-to-day life also. Some people are in mode of goodness, and when we ask them, right, please chant the holy names of the Lord. Your life will be perfected. And take shelter of Bhagavad Gita. Read Bhagavad Gita every single day, and they'll be saying that no, it's not needed. There is no need. I'm happy in my life. I'm satisfied. See, my kids are settled. I'm also retired. We have a very nice business. Sorry, my no, we have very nice savings, and we have many servants in our home. They're taking care of ourselves, also taking care of all the household works. Life is very peaceful. We are very peaceful in our life. I don't think anything else is needed in my life. You'll find these people, actually, these kinds of people. Hmm. So they will not be able to take to spirituality. So that's why happiness in this world, material happiness, also becomes the obstacle on the path of spirituality. A person will not get triggered to practice spirituality if we tell them, Baba, but okay, you are feeling happiness now, you're feeling peaceful now. What about death? What about death? Recently, yesterday, I was on a call in my office, and he was asking me, one of my colleagues, we gave a run, you know. And I work on, you might be, some people might be from VLSI, right? How many from VLSI, right? So I gave an extraction run, star RC extraction. I gave a run and then it was running. SPF was still yet to get generated. And then we were waiting, and it was taking some time. And then they started asking me some questions actually that, what experience are you getting when you are practicing spirituality? Hmm? Do you have some live examples whose lives got perfected? So I told, yes, there are many, many live examples. I talked about some of the personalities. And even in our lives, we can see some transformations happening every single day when we are sincerely practicing. And I talked about death to them, and they were completely silent. And as soon as I stopped speaking, no, they immediately came back to the topic of our the work basically. See, the run got completed or not? Check. I could figure out these people are shaken, completely shaken, because people don't like to talk about death, you know. So, but it's a very, very important subject matter. So people might be thinking that I'm peaceful in my life, but everybody has to die one day. Everybody has to die, and these people will be bewildered at the time of death. They will get so many doubts at the time of death. That where am I going now? What will happen to me next? Right? These questions will start popping up at the very, very moment when a person is actually leaving the body. Right? There will be so many confusions, so many doubts. What will happen to me next? Where am I going? So people actually fear to ask these questions, and nobody in the society will ask these questions. Will encourage also. So, but we need to, as spiritualists, there's a very, very important subject matter we need to talk about. And Bhagavad Gita starts with this in the very starting. Very, very starting. So that's how the material happiness, I'm not talking about spiritual happiness, huh? That's spiritual. Material happiness in the mode of goodness, that also stops a person to progress in spirituality. And I gave you the example, one of the very nice examples, how it conditions. Now, finally, final question is how to get free now, right? How to get free from all these three modes, right? And then the answer comes from the Bhagavad Gita itself. Krishna tells in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 20, in the last topic, last few slides. We'll wind up in another 3-4 minutes. Let's recite the shloka. Mam chayo vipicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. See, our question was transcending the modes of material nature. That's what our question was. How to transcend or how to get free from all these three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance, and come to mode of pure goodness. There is something called pure goodness also, which we'll talk about later. Some other session. How to get into that? By two words, one answer. Krishna is telling, Bhakti Yogena Sevate. That's it. When a person actually engages in full devotional service to the Lord, when whatever he does, he molds his life in serving the Lord. In whatever activity he performs, he does it for the pleasure of the Lord. That, oh my Lord, I'm doing this activity for your pleasure. That's Bhakti Yoga. And when he does that, he rises above the three modes. He comes to mode of pure goodness. It happens mystically. Huh? So only through devotional service, only through Bhakti Yoga, and the answer Krishna is himself giving here. Only through devotional service, only through Bhakti Yoga, a person can actually transcend the three modes. And he can situate himself in that consciousness. the level of Brahman, or that's pure goodness. You know. So bhakti yoga, or practice of devotional service to the Lord, that's the only answer. So whatever activity we are performing in our life, whether we are doing our office work, we are doing our duty towards our family, if we are singing in the kirtan, if we are dancing in the kirtan, if we are hearing the lecture, if we are chanting, if we are doing mantra meditation, all these activities, if we do it for the pleasure of the Lord, if we do it with full faith, with full conviction that yes, I'm doing this activity, if I do this for the pleasure of the Lord will accept. With that conviction, if we do that, the Lord accepts, and that becomes bhakti yoga. And when a person is in that consciousness, he will not get attached to the fruits of a particular activity or the activity itself. And that activity will itself become the, the medium for the liberation of that person, right? The same activity will become the medium, will become an instrument for the liberation of that particular person. Udesh, I need charger. My battery is low. It's in my bag. So that's the secret of going above the three modes. And one of the best examples is Srila Prabhupada, not Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's contribution when he went to the West, and he targeted that audience who were very, they were in mode of ignorance completely, because they were taking shelter of drugs and all kinds of illicit activities. The hippies I'm talking about. And he uplifted those people and made them into pure devotees. And they actually came from ignorance to pure goodness. Pure devotees of the Lord they became. And they are inspiring many people throughout the world now. Can you imagine? So that's the greatest example we can have, we can see in the world. Srila Prabhupada. Uplifting the hippies from even, I don't know, below ignorance. Ignorance and to the mode of pure goodness. So, and that's bhakti yoga. That's devotional service. He gave them Mahamantra, and then they were converted to pure devotees of the Lord. Now, finally, this question may come that how to deal with different personalities after understanding all this, right? This was our topic, actually, that unveiling the mask and how to actually deal with so many personalities all around us. So, let's finally come to this particular thing. Yeah, this slide. The last slide. So, how to get along with people after understanding all these things, the modes, and how do we get into these modes, how to come out of the three modes, right? So, we need to understand these points. Maybe we can note it down also, it will help us to deal with different kinds of personalities in our day to day life. Modes will work for sure, but effect can be minimized, right? That it is sure that we will be influenced by the three modes, but it is in our hands that how much we want to get influenced. Hmm? When we understand that yes, now I'm in mode of ignorance, now I'm in mode of passion. I read in Bhagavad Gita, I understood, I heard in that session last time. I made notes also. I discussed with that person also. I revised my notes, and now I remember that yes, these are the symptoms of mode of passion. Now I'm in mode of passion. Immediately, at least to some degree, we can come out of that mode of passion. We can understand. We can become a little conscious that yes, now I'm going through mode of passion. Oh, I'm becoming greedy now. I'm swinging like a pendulum now, right? I'm becoming envious of that person now. So we'll become a little conscious. So modes will work. The influence will be there. But we need to choose how much effect will be there. How much I want to get affected by it after analyzing this. Hmm? Similarly, if some person comes and he tries to influence us, right? We may choose or become a little conscious. Oh, okay, he's acting under mode of passion. Okay, let me not get influenced much. It's okay. Let me ignore. Let me ignore whatever he's saying right now. So, like that, after this analysis, we may come to this understanding. Second, hate the sin, not the sinner. This point also will help us in our day to day life. Hate the sin, not the sinner. Means a person who is committing a sinful activity, don't we should not blame that person, or we should not hate that person. He's in mode of ignorance right now, no problem. He may come to mode of goodness also. He may do good activities also sometime. What to do? He is conditioned as a mode of ignorance right now. So hate the sin, the activity, not the sinner, the person. Hmm? So our consciousness will change. towards other people and will not get influenced much. Third, forming perception on the people is destructive because people change. Now, when we understand that the modes are influencing everyone, me also and others also, everyone is under the modes. Nobody is spared, right? We can understand this that people will change. Now, our expectations will also change. Matlab, we set some expectations towards with some people, right? Our expectations will also change. It's okay. It's okay. People will change. I knew. He was in mode of goodness when he made a promise. Now he's in mode of ignorance. So he broke his promise. No problem. So our expectations will also change. So understanding that yes, people will change because they are under the influence of the modes, will not get affected much, right? Or at least if we get affected, very quickly will come up. Very quickly will come out of that effect or that influence. This is how it will help. Fourth point and the final, okay, second last point is when we get affected by someone, don't ponder it on it too much. Again, right? Because he acted under some mode, some combination of mode. He told something to me many times. People, we may be thinking too much actually that उसने मुझे ऐसा कह दिया. Sometimes people, I was hearing in my family, 10 साल पहले उसने मेरे पेरेंट्स के साथ ऐसा किया था. I'm not able to forget that till date. 10 years back, he insulted my parents. I cannot forget. Today also I remember freshly. Baba, you're wasting your time by remembering that. What will you do? What can you do? Can you change that person? No. Better you change yourself. Right? So don't ponder it on it too much. Right? It will spoil our own consciousness. So by understanding that, it's all the influence of the modes. So let me not think too much on whatever somebody is telling me, society is telling me. Sometimes people are caught in this uh, trap also. I was discussing with one of the people last 2 3 weeks back that my relatives are troubling me, society is troubling me, that I'm not getting good job, and they're troubling my parents. What should I do, Prabhuji? I'm like, why should you bother too much what people say? You do whatever is possible for you to do. Do your duty. Hmm? Why are you thinking so much what people are saying about you? Hmm? We think too much, right? So it will help us. This session will help us. And finally, those people who don't have higher goal in life, they will be stuck. They'll be stuck with small things which happen in their lives. That's why we need to understand, do I have a higher goal in life? And what is the higher goal which we have? Which we are discussing in every single session? To attain the Supreme Lord, self-realization, or to break the cycle of birth and death. We are again stuck in the cycle of birth and death. We are becoming old. Again, we are leaving the body when this body becomes useless. We are again taking up new body, taking birth again. Again, we are going through the whole number of years cycles. We may take birth in any species, by the way. That's also dangerous. If you go glide down to lower species, oh, that's very dangerous. After human life, we go to dog body. My God, such a disaster, right? If you get in human body also, but still we have to struggle. So much of bodily health issues this lifetime only. So much of struggle. Why we want another body, man? Come on. Let's end the cycle this lifetime. This thought we should get. There's a goal of life to end the cycle of birth and death, continuous birth and death, birth. Break the cycle of birth and death. That's the higher goal of life. If we don't have that goal, then we'll be stuck with small things in this world. Hmm? So that's why we need to think: am I having a higher goal in my life? If not, then I need to really contemplate about it. That yes, let me have some higher goal in my life. Let me set it. So we'll stop here. Any questions you have? Maybe some 2 3 questions we'll take, and then we'll go for uh, mantra meditation. Uddeshya proof. We'll go for mantra meditation. So any questions? Mike. Any question? You were having question, right? Any question? Okay. Mike, we have. Okay. What's your good name?
Venkat Shiva.
Venkat Shiva. Okay. Please.
Yeah. So as we discussed in 18 Sloka 27, I think 18 so we discussed about the fruits of our work, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, like in my experience, I worked in organization, so just worked 1 year only in that organization. So I don't, at that time I just leave the organization and I have joined another organization. So I didn't. I feel like I am not loyal to that organization. So my friend stayed same outside the organization. Now after 1 year, he got like review from the that project and they is unpaid and the responsibility to us.
Okay.
So am I right or wrong?
Okay. In what terms you are thinking? Right or wrong?
So, like as you know, right, we need to be stable. We need to be stable and we need to be like, as you told your friend's experience. So, in that same way, I have done the same. So, when I think about it, so can we be loyal to the one who is not loyal, or like we need to be more loyal to the person when he's not loyal?
There is something called intelligence and something called foolishness. So we need to be intelligent, but not attached to the fruits. If you know, and I'll talk about that your example, right? So you got relieved, and then you left, and then now he's struggling, right? Your friend is struggling. Your friend is on bench,
Yes.
right? You made a right decision. You might be thinking, huh? No.
Yeah. I'm thinking like I'm confused. I made that while
So should we
discussing.
get attached to the fruits, the results of the actions or not, right? Actually, whenever you get attached to the results of the activities, will be bound, will never be able to be happy, right? But there is no problem in thinking about the goals, setting the goal, whether I am able to achieve the goal or not. For example, you might be thinking that, or somebody might be thinking that, yes, in this organization, my goal is not getting achieved. My career objectives are not getting achieved. Okay, let me go into another organization. Okay, that's okay. But if we are attached to the fruits that I expected this much hike, I'm not getting too much attached, and we are getting influenced by that. We're getting influenced by that. Huh? Then it's a problem. Now, another thing is, somebody may say, no, no, but hike is also important, right? We need to think one thing actually today. I'll be very truthful, very, very straightforward. How much money you will earn in your life? How much money? There are some basic needs of a person which are needed. Now it may vary person to person, right? It may vary place to place also. In Bangalore, standard of living may be high. In other place, the standard of living may be very, very low. In some city, okay, commercially the things may cost high, and in other city or in other village or place or town, whatever, the cost may be low. So standard of living and many factors are there in this. So needs, basic needs of a person, which is like eating 3 times a day, healthy food, hygienic food, so to maintain good health, and in my conscience I should be happy, peaceful. These are basic needs. Physical needs, emotional needs, psychological needs, right? Relationships should be good. So these needs to be has to have to be fulfilled. Now if the basic needs are fulfilled, after that my standard of living is also fulfilled. After that also, if I'm too much bothered about hikes and too much bothered about all these things, then we are in a trap.
In this situation, I have another same doubt.
Huh.
So let's think. So our needs are fulfilled, but we need to fulfill the family needs. Let's take an example. We are eating something. Only a dog. So we feel like guilty. Dog is not able to eat while we are eating. So we need to feed the dog as well. So our food we can feed to the dog, but we should be have some hungry, right? We not fulfill that whole
Hmm.
hungry. So in this case, so we have some more like desires, right? To
Yeah.
fulfill some like we have more food. We can feed 1 or 2 lakhs as well, and we can feed
Ah,
ourselves.
right.
So in the situation, so we can have the desire, right? So even we have the
Mm.
fulfilled lifestyle, we have some more extra. So as we discussed, we can feel guilty. So the God will given me the guilty to feed the targets. The same
Understand.
way, we need to feel like our family. We need to take care of some of your other responsibilities.
Okay.
Yeah, in the
You
case,
need to take care of your parents, right?
yeah.
Okay. Parents, or how many family members do you have in your?
We are actually 3 sisters, one brother, and
So, see, the thing is, one more aspect to be thought about is the desires will keep on increasing and increasing with day. When the standard of living increases, no, everybody must have experiences, right? I'm not saying it for the first time, or maybe it's not that for the first time you're hearing this. You must have experiences that the desires also will increase, will change. When the standard of living increases, now I have in my family only, I can give example, and I'll not take name. Now we have small car, and it's not automatic. Automatic car we should have. Hmm? But that's not the need. The need of the car is to for me to travel from one place to another. That's the need of the car. The need of the car is not to be automatic or with gear, without gear. That's not the need of the car. The four wheeler is for me to get from one place to another place. That's it. That's the need. If my need is fulfilled, what's the need of taking lavish cars? What's the need? We need to think like this. We get trapped by these desires. The desires will keep on increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. It's like putting the ghee in the fire. The fire will keep on increasing. We need to think like this. We become trapped by the desires, our own desires. Thinking like this, that I want to fulfill the desires of my family member. The family member desires will also keep on increasing. What will you do? You will never be able to fulfill the desires of anybody in this world. We need to think like, we need to be convinced about this fact. Will we never be able to fulfill the desire of anybody in this world? We need to be convinced about this fact. Anybody. Because when you fulfill one desire of a person, the desire of that person will change the next moment. What will you do next? What will you do? Will you work more to fulfill the second desire? Or when you fulfill the second desire, again the third desire will come on. What will you do next? It'll keep on happening. You understood what I'm saying? So whatever is needed, we should do. And whatever is possible, we should do. Earning money is not a problem. There are many, many devotees who are earning money, good amount of money, right? I know one devotee. I'll not take the name. It's okay. There are many, many devotees actually. They are practicing Krishna consciousness. Their whole life is spirituality. Their whole life is Krishna consciousness. But they are earning good amount of money also. They're not attached to the money. Not attached to the money at all. It's clearly visible in their actions, their attitude, in their consciousness. Not attached to the money at all. You know, and they don't get trapped by all these desires and all those things. They know what is my basic needs, uh, whatever is my duty. I should do it nicely. I should take care of my parents nicely. you know but I should not get into these all these traps also. If the parents say that give me automatic car, take an automatic car, take this, take that, take now we are living in 3 bhk flat, we should have a villa of our own. I was hearing today only that the children are settled outside, one in Australia, one in America, and only the old age couple are there. Still, they have the desire. Let's shift to villa. Let's have a big house. What is the need of taking a big house? What's the need? Tell me. What's the need? We need to think like this. The basic need of a house is okay. Everybody maybe having the needs of having a house. How much big house may be different. We need to think in the basic terms that okay, if my basic needs are fulfilled, it's okay. That's enough. Again, there is no problem in earning money, but if you're getting attached to it, if you're getting influenced by it, stock price goes down, my heart shakes. I get heart attack. I don't get enough sleep in the night. That's the symptom of attachment to money. Hmm? That's symptom of attachment to money.
so I thought
So,
my needs are unfulfilled. So
huh?
I am stable with the
Very nice.
So then I
Very, very
stopped.
nice.
So I am thinking like until we get our needs, we can add our heat in the fire, right? Is it
Huh?
right?
Sorry?
Until we get our needs fulfilled,
Right.
so we can add our heat in the fire, right? So
We can add our.
I mean, ghee in the fire, as you told.
Or we can add the ghee in the fire.
Yeah,
It's okay. As soon as you're not attached to the money,
yes.
okay, no problem, you earn money. What's the problem?
That's the
That's the consciousness. Now you got the answer, right? See, earning money is not a problem. We need to think like this. Earning money is not a problem. But being in the trap and getting attached to the money is a problem. Getting attached to the money is a problem. And not understanding that I'm becoming victimized and I'm getting into the trap of my own, I'm getting bound by the trap in the trap of my own desires. That's a problem. Earning money is not a problem. You earn crores of money, no problem. If you have karma, if you have reactions, sufficient punyas, money will come. It'll come for sure. So you earn, no problem. But if you're getting attached to the money, and there are symptoms of getting to find out whether I'm attached to the money or not. So if those symptoms are there, like one symptom I told you, na, as soon as stock prices go up and down, my heart shakes. That's a symptom of getting attached to the money. Other person, there are many devotees who have invested in mutual funds. They least bother about it. They see after 2 months. Okay, let me see what is how it is going. Least bothered. Least bothered. Dependent on Krishna. And Krishna will help. You understood what I'm saying? Krishna will help. If a person is sincere in devotional service, Krishna will help in fulfilling all his needs, material needs also, and the spiritual needs also. Krishna will help. The Lord will help. We need to have that faith also. We need to develop that faith. Krishna will help. The Lord will help. Basically, the Supreme Lord will help. But I have to do my duty also. I should not artificially stop performing my duty, or that's artificial. So I should perform my duty nicely, not getting attached to the results. See, Krishna is never saying in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, stop fighting. Tell me a shloka from Bhagavad Gita where Krishna told Arjuna, it's okay, Arjuna, you're doing right. I support you. I support you. I agree with you. Then Bhagavad Gita would have ended there only. But why so many 18 chapters came up? Can you imagine? See, first chapter only, Arjuna is giving so many reasons. I will not fight for this reason. I will not fight because of this reason. But if Krishna would have said in one shloka that, yes, I agree with you, let's wind up. Let's wind up. I am your chariot driver. I'll only go take you back to the house, to the palace. Let's wind up here. Then Bhagavad Gita would have ended in first chapter only. Or second chapter, first verse, end. Huh? But there are 18 chapters. Krishna has spoken so much. So much. Why? Because Krishna is convincing Arjuna, no, 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 don't leave your duty. Do your duty, but don't get attached to the results of the duty. Don't get attached to the results of the action. In third chapter, Krishna is telling again and again, don't get attached to the results. Don't get attached to the money. Earn money, no problem. There's no problem in earning money. Don't get attached to the money. That's the problem. Don't get bound up by the desires of your own. Try to understand in that way. Perform bhakti yoga. Take the shelter of the Lord. Do your duty nicely, but without getting attached. Set the goals. Understand your nature. Okay, I have a Brahmana nature, I have a Kshatriya nature, I have a Shudra nature, I have a Vaishya nature. Accordingly, indulge in some activities according to the nature. Were you there in that session when we discussed about 4 categories of a person? So, according to the nature of a person, we have to indulge in activity. If a person is business minded, okay, do the business, no problem. Who is stopping you? Engage in your activity, in your duty. Nobody is stopping you. Krishna is not stopping you. But don't get attached to the result of the activity. Huh? Ma karma fal hetu. Karmanyevadikaraste. Ma faleshu kadachana. Ma faleshu kadachana. Don't get attached to the phala. Krishna is saying in that verse also. You have a right to do your duty. Don't get attached to the results. So we need to see actually. This is not a matter of discussing in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's a detailed discussion. We need to see where are we trapped exactly. We have to deep dive into our consciousness. We have to see which desire I'm stuck in right now, which is causing me trouble in my life. Am I attached to money? Am I attached to woman? Am I attached to this? Am I attached to the results of my activity? Where am I stuck in life? So we need to really think, and we need to understand from these sessions. We need to ask questions like this. Obviously, it will depend on more and more what to say, discussion, deep diving, understanding, reading from Bhagavad Gita, and slowly will be helped. You know. we'll get more and more clarity over a few. You are coming for the first time today? Yeah. Thank you for that question. Actually, it's a very nice question. It's a very very nice question. It must have helped others also. Okay, we'll stop here. I think it's we are over time. So we'll go for mantra meditation. Uh, can we distribute the beats? We can get up and then stretch ourselves.
Who bought the beats?
So whoever is getting the beats may sit down. Well, if you have felt that yes, now I've stretched out and then I'm relaxed, you can come closer and then sit. So we'll be doing mantra meditation maybe for a few minutes. So let's sit down.
Anyone else needs beats?
I can see so many people bringing their own bead bags. I'm very happy to see. Very very happy. So for the first time you're coming, right? So I'll be telling you about how to chant. Others might be knowing, right? So we never touch this particular finger to any of the beads. So we keep this finger away. And normally in the bead bag we have a space to take out the finger like this, but you can consciously keep the finger away as of now. So we start on this bead. We don't chant on the middle bead, right? Leaving aside this, starting from here till here, one full round. This is 108 beads. So we'll be chanting 108 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Every bead will be chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So first we will chant the invocation prayer on the first beat to invoke the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, to invoke the blessings of Shri Shri Panch Tattva, our Savior of the Lord, right? Invoke the blessings of the Lord that, oh Lord, please help me. I want to sincerely chant your holy names, and these are spiritual names, but I want to take shelter. My mind doesn't allow me. So let's close our eyes and let's prepare our consciousness. My mind may not allow me or doesn't allow me to sit peacefully and then chant your holy names. But this is a time where I have consciously taken this decision to come on the Saturday evening. And today I've understood that every moment I'm getting influenced by the three modes. Please, O Lord, pull me out of these three modes. You have that power to pull me out. Oh, please, O Lord, help me. Let me rise above these three modes, or at least come to a mode of goodness, where the mind will be peaceful. And let me not think about anything else at this particular time. I've done so many sacrifices to come here, to come into this association where amazing personalities are sitting beside me. These all